Alrighty, I promise more Canadian Highlander shenanigans with Nate, and I'm gonna deliver right now. This is our first game of our second match, and Nate made a couple of adjustments, I think, after this game. Maybe, I'm not sure actually. He may have just gone with the same deck as last game. Of course, I haven't changed my deck at all. And yeah, I've got this hand right here. It's not great, certainly not fast, but it does have a couple key cards that are even stronger against Nate's deck due to the fact that he's only playing Bant. And back when he was running more red in his deck, he was running cards like Dak Faden, and I don't know if he was running a Braid. He might have been running a Braid as well. Dak Faden alone, though, super threatening, particularly against, obviously, good artifacts. And that makes... And he was running things like Vindicate when he was running black in his deck, and he had the Quiet Speculation package, I think, for a while, too, to go get Ancient Grudge from the... out of the deck and put it in the graveyard so that he'd always have green mana available to just kill artifacts. So I've noticed that that's kind of a weakness right now of his version. It seems like it is pretty weak against artifacts. You do have some answers, but they're fairly narrow and infrequent. So artifacts have the chance to go to the distance. And I feel that this hand is probably better than another hand of 7 with -1. So I'm gonna keep it. Plus I have an opportunity to draw 1-drops. When I was testing against this deck yesterday. It looks like I actually am going first, and Nate, I think, did mulligan. Yeah, he's at 6. My opponent playing the red-white deck when I was testing with Oath kept drawing 1-drops game after game after game. I think he had a 1-drop in pretty much every single game we played, and that makes such a big difference in terms of just setting the pace of the game. It really means that the person playing the control deck has to start tapping out early rather than sitting on counterspells or disruption. Fortunately, I don't have that this game. I've just got this Battlefield Forge. All right. So even though I'd love to go and strip mine right now, I decide that it's just better to play the Shrine and let it start ticking, given that he doesn't have a lot of ways to kill it. And oh my god, turn 1 Enlightened Tutor. Okay, that's never good. He's got Forbidden Orchard also. Look at that. That is the nuts right there. Against mono red, really, I mean, come on. Stone cold nuts. Turn 1 Oath, turn 2 Forbidden Orchard, into the Oath of Druids. I mean, turn 1 Enlightened Tutor, turn 2 Forbidden Orchard into Oath of Druids. So that leaves me with really only one recourse because I have no board. I have no way to establish any position in this game. There's Shriner to Burning Rage, ticks up. And I get to hit him for 1 damage. And yep, that's going to be me Searing Spearing this Spirit. So terrible. But at least I do have the Blessed Strip Mine to get rid of Forbidden Orchard. So he doesn't have any way to keep giving me a steady stream of guys. He's at 17, and I got Shrine of Burning Rage. Game on. See what happens. Oh my god, he's got Simic Growth Chamber also. Nate's running 3 of the Karus in his deck. And maybe his testing was showing that not a lot of people are running both Strip Mine and Wasteland. I think that certainly with Strip Mine being a 3-point card, the value of the Karus goes way, way up. But I do think Nate is overvaluing these. I think that they're so catastrophic to play early. When you keep a hand with 1 land in a Growth Chamber or a Selesnya Sanctuary or whatever, and your opponent has a Wasteland or a Strip Mine, you're kind of dead right away. And it feels to me like that might be too much of a downside for the 2 mana that these things provide. They do seem so good in the control matchup, obviously, when your opponent isn't land destroying you, because they're basically just 2 cards in 1, and they make you more resilient to mulliganing. They're just all around amazing cards. I just don't know if the format has room for these, because there are so many aggressive decks in the format that run both the land destruction spells. And in my case of my deck, I run both Strip Mine and Wasteland, and I also run Rishadan Port, and I'm not running anything like Avalanche Riders or something, but I do have the Blood Moon type effects as well. All right. Well, I got to figure out how to win this game with no creatures, so that's going to be a challenge. I can draw burn. My deck actually doesn't have a ton of burn in it. I think it only runs about 12 burn spells. So, but if I can get the Chandra Torch of Defiance online, of course, that's going to be a very, very easy route to winning the game. And he's got Talisman of Curiosity, and he takes 2 damage off Hallowed Fountain. This obviously represents counter magic. So I'm hoping that at the end of the turn here, I'm going to take the 2. I'm going to throw Char at his face. This effectively does 5 damage due to the Shrine of Burning Rage counter, and will get him a lot closer to actually potentially dying to this. And I'm hoping that he actually does counter this, because if I can top deck another land, I can run out Chandra Torch of Defiance, and he may not have any answer to it, and it will probably be just GG right there, because I can just start dealing 2 damage a turn to him with it. while leveling it up to 7. And if it goes ultimate, of course, game's over. So I'm going to char him. He just takes the 4. Shrine ticks up to 5. Well, this is starting to look like a game all of a sudden. Oh, I draw the other 4 mana Chandra. That's unfortunate. That's the opposite of a land. Okay. Well, my entire game really is the Shrine of Burning Rage. It's really everything. He draws and passes. And so his hand is likely loaded with counters. Given he's not doing anything else, I go up to 6. Yeah, I'm not going to play anything at this point because even if he does draw away to kill the Shrine of Burning Rage, he will be down to 5 life. And at 5 life with no life gain on hand right away, I may be able to just draw into burn spells to kill him. So I'm not going to risk casting anything at all unless it's instant speed, and that includes casting these guys. Until I send the Shrine, until the Shrine is out of the battlefield, neither of these cards is going to be cast no matter what, even if I do hit 4 mana. Because I could easily lose the game. I play 4, I cast Chandra, he mana drains it, untaps, casts Gilded Lotus for free practically, and then fetches something that immediately kills off, or casts something that kills Shrine of Burning Rage, and now I'm really out of the game. There's just no way to win at that point. All right. Yeah, he got very unlucky. He's got a number of ways to recur the Forbidden Orchard as well. Life from the Loams in the deck that it's called like Svenya's Reclamation or something. Really powerful card that was just printed that has flashback. You can effectively regrow 3 CMC or belows with it over 2 turns with the flashback cost, or even in 1 turn if you have a ton of mana. It's really, really nuts card. And of course he's got Crucible Worlds as well. And Gaea's Blessing to potentially put it back into the deck. Draw Goblin Guide, which is actually not bad because it's a source of haste damage, if in fact I am able to get him low with the Shrine. He's still not doing much. Up to 7 cards at hand and likely getting very frustrated. He's got 4 mana out, but can't really do anything. And the Shrine continues to tick up and up and up. Up to 8 now. Bomat Courier. Cool. More haste damage. I can actually send 3 at him in creature form. I don't need burn spells. All right. So Nate finally draws another land. This is a strange play as well. Does he have a follow-up? I'm not sure why he wouldn't just leave the Simic Growth Chamber. Okay, so there he goes. He's uses Teferi's ability to bounce the Shrine of Burning Rage, but this does not shut off activated abilities. And this allows me to chuck the Shrine at his head, taking him down to just 3, and I have a full hand. I'm not sure why he tapped his lands like that. Obviously, Plains Island Talisman, I think, would have been better, because it would have kept the Simic Growth Chamber untapped and at least represented, I don't know, something like a Mana Leak or a Remand against my play. Although I happen to have exactly the right answer if he does have Remand. Mana Leak won't work, though. But I would have to put creatures into play, and if he had an answer to both of them, yeah, that's the game. So after he did that, I think Nate was understandably frustrated, and he conceded this game, figuring that I've got 7 cards in hand. I haven't played anything. He just basically had to tap out, and I almost certainly have his death waiting in my hand. And I did actually, assuming that he didn't have Mana Leak or Force of Will. But between these 2 cards, it was enough haste damage to get over for the win anyway. And I might have actually just drawn another land there anyway and run out Chandra Torch Defiance, which would have been pretty much GG either way. So that is another game over in a very odd fashion. I basically didn't even cast anything this game other than that Shrine of Burning Rage on turn 2 and then having to kill my own guy with the Searing Spear. But Char and Shrine for a ton of damage for 8 got the job done after he took a little bit of damage off his lands, and Red-White gets another win. I'll have another game of this match coming up in just a second. Stay tuned.